So the grace period of 4 minutes is over now because it was the weekend and you were in a different mood. So I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. And now we are back to our summer program, which is being organized by our organization called Hindu Heritage Foundation of America, a very reputed and prestigious institution. And this is our summer program of year 2021. Started on 19th of July. And this is our second week, day 1, session 1. Our distinguished invited guest is Miss Savi, Sarin. She is from India. Saviji, most welcome to our summer program. Everyone will be joining soon, but program is being live streamed, so many people will be there because all are in the different time zones. So, but I hope more people will be here soon. So we welcome you, I personally, and on behalf of our organization and from all the participants, we welcome you. Saviji is an excellent storyteller. And I cannot say much about her. I have shared her details in our group, WhatsApp group. You can see there. And here she is to talk about the story of Yam and Nachiketa with all of you. To speaker view.
Namaste everyone. I don't know if that introduction was befitting. I'm getting heebie-jeebies after the beeline of speakers you've had for past 2 weeks. I don't hold any candle, but yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Kavita and Acharya Harishchandra ji, for even considering me to come and share my little bit on the Vedic heritage. For me, I still consider myself as a learner, just like these lovely children, and I'm still waddling in the splash pool, and still yet to take a deep dive into the vast ocean of the Vedic Sanatan heritage of India. So yeah, thank you once again. It just feels that the more I learn, the lesser I know. So I'm really grateful. So before I begin, I invoke Savita Devta. Those of you know the Gayatri Mantra can chant with me. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. I just invoked and chanted this mantra so that that Almighty may just guide my speech and intellect for next 1.5 hours that I am with you all. So kindly ignore and excuse my follies, keep them aside, and lose not the pearls of this session that is going to be. So we can interact. Can it be a little bit of interactive session too, Kavita ji?
Yes, sure. Why not?
All right, thank you. So I am a storyteller from the land of India, the golden land of the Vedic wisdom. So let's begin. आओ बच्चों तुम्हें सुनाओ दिखाओ जाके हिंदुस्तान आर्यवर्त की, इस मिट्टी से तिलक करो ये धरती, योगी तपस्वी महान की, वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम. Well, Independence Day is around the corner, so the fervor. So you might be familiar with this word Aryavarth by now that you are into 2 weeks of this Vedic heritage program. As I said, I'm a storyteller and I am certainly going to tell you a story. But before that, can anybody here tell me what is a story? You can raise your hand, unmute yourself, and just share your views. Pia Mehta, yeah, please do share.
I think a story is an interpretation of the realistic or unrealistic way of life. So sometimes a story can explain a moral value, a character trait, or sometimes it can illustrate and propose like a historic event that happened, like the Mahabharata or like those historic times. So a story can take form of two ways.
Thank you, Pia. You have kind of summed it up all nicely. Oh, just ignore this. This is just from my workshop. Anybody else? Thank you, Pia. Thank you so much. Anybody else with anything to add or any different point of view for a story? All right. So, story, as Pia said, has the elements of fiction, but also that those elements are based on some truth, of course, because nothing can be created in vacuum, be it any story. So in the story world, we call it stories as, they're considered as suspension of disbelief. So when you are listening to a story, you are all into it. You never question the credibility of a story unless it is written too poorly or dramatized too poorly. So there is a suspension of disbelief and you just go along. And in the end, it does leave some imprint on your indelible mind. It talks to your subconscious. So yes, stories are a very nice way of explaining some abstract concepts easily. Now, try to make sense of what I'm going to say. Being a storyteller, it might be a blasphemy, but have you all heard of a statement that brevity is soul of wit and wisdom? Anybody? Okay, do you agree with that? Brevity is soul of wit and wisdom. You can do a thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't agree. That's okay. No? All right. So yeah, you do agree. Brevity is soul of wit, but yet you kind of like to listen to stories, and stories are not brief at all. And you might have heard sometimes in your school or your teacher saying, all right, don't tell a story, just come to the point. Like what I am doing right now, I am going round and round, and you might be saying, okay, Miss Savi, now just come to the point, come to the story. Enough of this, going around, beating around the bush. But the thing I want to come to here is that from our Vedic time to the Upanishadic time, there had been, or maybe just a conjecture, that there might be a devolution, not evolving, not evolution of human intellect, devolution, so much so that people could not comprehend what the Vedic verses were, and they wanted a simplified form of that knowledge. So probably the great seers had to, dilute that knowledge, or not dilute, put it in simplified ways for the common man to understand what they're trying to convey. Such abstract concepts, such profound things, which would be so hard for anybody to understand. So, yeah, so we all love stories, and here we are telling one of the stories from one of the most beloved Upanishad, that is Katha-Upanishad. And Upanishads have not just, kind of influenced the Indian conscience, but also traveled far and wide beyond the shores of India to the foreign lands. And people like Arthur Schopenhauer or Dara Shikoh, they have been greatly influenced by the text of Upanishad. So much so that I would like to just quickly read what Arthur said, that they present the fruit of highest human knowledge and wisdom, and contain almost superhuman conceptions whose originators can hardly be regarded as mere men. Of course, by now you also might be knowing that the Vedas are not a construct of human mind. They are apaurusha. They were revealed to the great, great humans of the yore. So yes, coming from Upanishads, that means, sitting in proximity of the Guru, the wise one, to receive that knowledge. And they have a body of knowledge about the real knowledge of how to get away from the vicious cycle of life and birth, and for onward journey to emancipation. So then out of they're considered like many hundreds of Upanishads are told that they exist now, but mainstream ones are the main 10, and of those 10, Kat is one of them. So Katha-Upanishad means hard. Katha is hard. So it is really hard maybe to understand for some, because it deals with really difficult concepts of life. Also, it talks, the protagonist of the story of this Upanishad is none other than a child, a teenager, so to say. So you all can relate to the story even more. Probably that's why it is chosen. Now, before coming to the hard story, let me just make things a little light by telling you a very easy, fun going story about children. You children, you are the world, you are the children, you are the ones who make a brighter day. So we got to start listening to you all too. So this story is about a little girl who was traveling on a plane, and she had a co-passenger, a nice, bright old man who thought that children, while she was busy reading her book, this man wanted to strike a conversation, just, how to pass the time. And he said that, okay, hello, hi, what are you reading? Looks interesting. So would you like to talk? We can talk. The journey will, we won't know, and the journey would pass quickly, and we can strike some good conversation. So the girl looked at him and said, all right. She was respectful. And though he thought he was kind of looking down upon her as a, okay, child, okay, let's just talk and try to, what would she know? So is there anything you would like to know? I can answer all your questions, child. So she said, yeah, really? What do you want to talk about? He said, let's talk about God. She said, all right, sir, if you say, but before that, could you please answer a few of my questions? I said, of course, sure, anytime. Ask me as many questions. I would love to answer. I said, sir, what does a goat eat? He said, grass, of course. Okay, good. What does a cow eat? Grass, of course. What does a horse eat? Grass, of course. All right, sir. Then could you tell me, they all eat the same thing, but a goat gives out a pellet, a cow gives out a different kind of cake, and the horse gives out a different kind of patty. So why is such a difference? Now that man was scratching his head and he had no answer. He was just gobsmacked with this question. Said, sorry, I don't know, sir. Said, sir, if you don't know about shit, how do you think you have authority to talk about God? So that was just in lighter vein before we begin with the story, the hard one of Katha-Upanishad. So this story, again, let me also tell you, while you listen to the story, do remember that stories, as Pia said, also kind of are historical, and they do tell us about the culture or the surroundings or the events, that about the people of that time, that era. So when you listen to it, it's going to reveal a lot about that Vedic time, post-Vedic time, the Upanishadic times. So there was this young boy named Nachiketa. Nachiketa also meant curious. So he was a curious young boy. And his father, named Vajrashravas, they lived in a forest area, and he used to perform an Agnihotra, that is the fire sacrifice, what they call in English. So while he used to do that, Nachiketa was always curious and used to, hover around his father. He was not allowed to do or any offerings, because he was still very young, say 6-year-old, and at that age, children were not allowed to till they are initiated. And those times, there had to be an initiation done for children to perform that fire sacrifice. So he was always curious, and he would see his father performing the fire sacrifice and, chanting. So he would be, Om Ayanta Edma Atma Jata Vedaste Nedhasva Vardhasva Chedavardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahma Varjase Nanadena Samedhaya Swaha. And this would continue. And he would just look and was so much in awe that, then he would, once the fire sacrifice was over, he would ask his dad and pester him, oh father, when will I be able to, I want to do this, I want to learn all the procedures, when will I be able to do all this? So Vajrashravas would say, soon, my son, soon. And in hearts of heart, he started thinking that my son is very curious. I think it's time for him to get initiated into the real learning. And there is a ceremony called Upanayan or Yajupavit ceremony, that is called the initiation ceremony for children who were sent to learn away from home. So now look at the irony. Now the school has come to home, but earlier children were sent away from home to learn. So this ceremony was held for children depending on when they were really ready. So parents would gauge that when is my child ready. It wasn't like, the child is born and parents start worrying, okay, which school, which daycare. No, it was not like that. They had a beautiful childhood, infancy, childhood. They spent playing around, fooling around, looking, observing their surroundings, looking at the elders around and learning from them. So most of the learning would just happen organically for that, till that age, till at least the age of 8 years. And after that, depending on the fire in their belly, the eagerness in them to learn, they would be sent to the gurus, to away to the Gurukul, or so, what do they call, the forest schools, to learn this Vedic wisdom, the knowledge of the worldly and beyond. So this little boy now was ready, and his father took him, found a guru for him who would really take care of his son and would kind of, quell his appetite for learning. So he was sent off to this Gurukul. Now, when you go to Gurukul, you are kind of cut away from the home. You have no connection. You can't call back home and say, hello mommy, hello papa, I'm not feeling good here, can you please take me back? No, that wasn't. Once you're sent to Gurukul, you have to stay put there till you finish your learning, till you are, you become a human, a complete human. So that was the case. Plus, it wasn't so easy, and things weren't served on silver platter. The guru would assign tasks to all the children. They will have to do certain chores before they could, learn. And also the guru would see who is the real seeker of knowledge. Are they ready? Are they the right patra? Like, the vessel has to be clean and ready for the guru to pour in all the knowledge. So all that guru would do to prepare the students there. And as for the daily chores, the life skills, everything. So as I said, they will become a complete human being, a holistic education. That is what it used to be. And we keep exhorting, and nowadays, education, it has to be holistic. It still isn't, and we still have to go a long way to make it that holistic. So then Nachiketa was given a task of that time. There used to be cattle to be the cattle had to be taken care of. That was the real wealth, plus most of the food for brahmacharis who used to stay in the Gurukul, the ashram. The guru used to kind of, their diet was dependent on the milk, the ghee they used to get from the cow. So it was kind of symbiotic relationship between the animals and the humans, but they used to revere them. It was not one of that of exploitation. So they used to take care, the children used to take care of the cattle, they used to take them to graze and feed. So one day Nachiketa also he had to finish his task for the day, and he used to go every day, but this particular day, when he was going, he saw that this cow, the few of the cows, they were not feeling really well, and they weren't walking as fast. So he asked his friends that what happened, they don't look well, why aren't they grazing? So the friend said, it's okay, Nachiketa. This is what happens. This is old age. And when you reach that age, you grow old, your body wear out. So that's a process of life. It's part of the life cycle. So these things, that Nachiketa was a very curious and observant child. So these questions always used to crop in his head. He used to get some answers, but was never satisfied with those answers. So it wouldn't completely satisfy him. The one day, one of his favorite friend, while he was always grazing, his favorite friend was one little deer who used to come along with him and used to, he loved when Nachiketa fed him. So that day, he saw that deer was not there, but when he walked while grazing the cattle, he saw that deer was lying over there and just lying down with eyes closed. He thought that Nachiketa thought he might be sleeping, so he just tried to, kind of uh, give a little nudge on his head to wake him up and see if he would wake up, but he didn't. He put the grass near him. He did not eat. He just did not move. He was looking, he felt cold. So Nachiketa said, why aren't you eating? Why aren't you getting up now? He was a little worried. So his friends came and said that Nachiketa, he will not get up anymore because he's passed away. This deer has no life in it. Nachiketa was like, what do you mean? Said, the deer is dead now. That again left him kind of shocked for a bit, and questions ran in his mind, and he asked, what happens when one passes away? What happens after death? So his friend said, don't worry, Nachiketa, it's very normal. People they grow old, they pass away, just like, and people, animals also do, all life forms have to go through that cycle and they just pass away. But some say there is some life, there's something after death. The other friend said, no, there's nothing, there's no such thing, life after death. The other friends said, no, there is. Of course there is. Don't you know? Then they started squabbling, the friends amongst them. And Nachiketa, as usual, wasn't satisfied. And he walked out of that squabble and straight headed to his guru to find the answer. And he went, and just in that, all the days he was in, he went and asked, Guruji, could you please tell me what is death and what happens to a person after death? So his guru was also kind of in awestruck that what happened to him suddenly. Why is he asking such a question? But he said, Nachiketa, nobody has got any answer so far to this. There are debates. Some say this, some say that, but I also would say the same thing. You got to find your own answer. Now that left Nachiketa in a bit of a despair. While all this was happening, he was kind of there was some kind of turmoil inside his head. There was a messenger sent over to Guru's place, to the Gurukul, to call him back home, because Vajrashravas was performing this great yajna, the sacrifice, which was called Vishwajit sacrifice. So he called over for Nachiketa, and Nachiketa took his guru's agya. He asked if he could leave, and then as he was walking back home with that messenger, the disciple of his father. He asked him that, what is this Vishwajit sacrifice? What is father doing? So he explained that Vishwajit's sacrifice is a real big thing. It means that one has to, give away all the dearly possessions that one has. So it takes a lot of courage to do that. Vishwajit, the word, it does not, it literally means conquering the world. But when you understand what he tried to say, that you have to give away all your possessions, worldly possessions. So that is kind of conquering the world inside us, the inside world, because we are always clinging to something or the other, and it isn't easy for us to let go of our belongings, let go of our ideas, let go of our beliefs, so everything. So Vishwajit was something like that, of that great order. So he was very happy and elated that, wow, my father is going to do such a great charity. What a noble man he is. He was always in awe and always respected his father. But now, after listening to this, even more. So as he walked closer to his home, he saw the festivities and the ceremony, all people getting ready, and then he saw a huge line of the Brahmins coming for taking the offerings from his father, the donations that he's going to just give away. And as things were happening, things were going on smoothly. He was happy to see all that, flitting around his father and helping him. Just then his father said, okay, Nachiketa, can you please now get the cows? It's time to give away my possessions, the last of possessions. Let me just get the cows and get the cows that they were already selected and kept before Nachiketa could, ask. They were the ones who were really sick and measly, who had, they were just skin and bones. They had their last sip of water, they had their last meal of grass, and they wouldn't give milk at all. So those were the kind of cows that Nachiketa was asked to get to give to those Brahmins. When he saw that, there was something that, kind of, again, a turbulence in him, because the kind of child he was a very curious, very wise, very witty, observant, and because of the environment that he grew up in, of course, his father gave him all the great teachings, and to question, have Shraddha, but that for the true knowledge, to question what is not right. So that came into play now. And now he was almost ready to question what his father is about to do is not right. He is going to give away these cows, and he's going to go to the dark worlds. Who gives such donations? He had all those questions and that look on his face, and he was shell-shocked. Yet his father, when he saw Nachiketa, he could sense what that teenager is trying to say through just his, body gesture and the face. He could read what Nachiketa is trying to convey, but he just ignored and said, all right, quickly, please, faster. Then he thought in his head that my father, I am also his possession, the dearest of all. Maybe he's so much in love with, these possessions. He also loves me. What if he gives me away? Maybe, he can be, there can be a penance where he would not be punished or given any severe consequence of this dark deed that he's doing, giving such bad, rotten donation to the Brahmins. If he gives me, there will be some sort of redemption. So he thought that that's a good plan. Let me go and ask my father this. And then he went and asked, Father, whom are you going to give me? Now, Vajrashravas, of course, he was a rishi. He sensed what this smart chap was trying to do here. He did not answer. He carried on. Again, Nachiketa went and said, he tried to now explain to his father that, what you are doing is not right. These cows have, so it was just, kind of going from one ear and out from here. So Vajrashravas was not paying heed to what Nachiketa was saying, obviously, because he said, oh, this child, this pesky child, all right, just get off me. But he again said, Father, whom are you going to give me? I am also one of your possessions. So whom are you going to give me? He did not listen, but he was, riling up and now getting really irate. And the last time this boy asked, Father, whom are you going to give me? And Vajrashravas was like all infuriated and all anger, all fire. And he said, all right, so you trying to act smart with me? Here, this is for you. I give you to death. Now go away. This is what happens with most of us. In anger, we don't realize what we say, and all we have is to repent later on. But then there is no point crying over spilt milk. What was said has to be done, especially in those times. What they said had to be done. They meant every word. And there's a Vedic saying, says manasaha vachaha karmana. So there used to be an integrity in their thought, speech, and deeds. If they don't do that, that would be like all hell will break loose. So Nachiketa said, Father, why do you worry? You have said something, and that will be, fulfilled. Your wish is my command. What a great son. He was not at all, he was, as cool as a lark, and he happily, he wasn't moved by what his father had said. He said, all right, Father, no big deal. The old, it is the passage of right that people come, people go, just like, the grains of wheat on in the field also, they grow, they shed, and they pass on. So just like that, humans also, we are born, we grow old, and we pass on. So I shall also go to death, as you said. So your words shall be fulfilled. But now Vajrashravas was repenting, but nothing doing. This boy was a steadfast, and he was also a kind of a Pitrabhakt, was an obedient, respectful child, yet questioned what was wrong, whatever was happening wrong around him. He did question that, but respectfully. And I don't know how many of us or our kids can do that, can maintain their cool even if parents raise a little voice. I don't know, in US there's something called 911 also, if something not very favorable happening. So I really don't know, but yeah, those times there were no 911, and there weren't children who would really, mind what, because they knew that their parents, they always mean good, no harm for them, their children. So Nachiketa just carried on for the onward journey to death. Now, this is a fictional story. Again, remember, it is a parable, it is an allegory, the stories which are told in a very symbolic way for people to understand difficult concepts. So it isn't that there was a Yamaraj and something. So try to understand the concept behind. So Nachiketa goes to the house of death, the Yamacharya's house, and he knocks on the door and he says, "Anybody there? Anybody? This is Nachiketa. I'm here. My father sent me to meet death. I want to meet death. Anybody there?" No answer. Well, first day, he just waits there, hungry, thirsty, no answer. Second day again, he tries. Anybody there? I'm Nachiketa. I'm son of Vajrashravas. I'm waiting to meet death, the Yamaraj. Can I please meet him? Can anybody open the door? No answer. The third day, again, hello, anybody there? No answer. So he waited there for 3 long days, thirsty and hungry, not a morsel, not a drop to drink. The fourth day, the Yamaraj arrives on the beautiful water buffalo. And when he sees that Brahmin child on his door, lying almost, as if he fainted or something, and he asked, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" So Nachiketa gave his introduction and told him the whole story. And after listening to the fact that he was waiting at his door for 3 long days without water and food, Yamaraj was absolutely in shock. He said, "Oh my God, all my good deeds, all my possessions, everything will be just taken away. I will go to the dark worlds before anybody else could." Because yagya, there were different kind of yagyas in those times, and one was the Atithi Devo Bhava. So that guest is like God, and that was followed to T. And especially when a Brahmin, not by birth, but by deeds, by actions, if a Brahmin is at your doorstep and you do not offer him anything, and he's there at your doorstep for 3 long days, what a shame on you. You are definitely not going to get moksha. Forget about moksha. The ledger book of all your bad deeds is going to get filled faster than the good karmas. So the good karmas will all be struck off. So just for redemption, Yamaraj thought of something quickly and he said, "Nachiketa, I'm really heartfelt apologies for this big kind of a crime that has happened. It was kind inadvertent. I just didn't know. But just to make amends, you see, I give you 3 boons. Please go ahead and ask for whatever you wish. I shall fulfill your 3 wishes." because you've stayed hungry and thirsty at my place waiting for me for 3 days, so I grant you 3 boons. So Nachiketa was pleased. He thought, wow, I never thought death could be so pleasing and so friendly. I get to get boons. So that, no, not that he thought of that, but Nachiketa said, Acharya ji, could you please now, first boon, look at the first thing that he asks. Could you please make my father absolutely, forget about what has happened, make him calm and peaceful. He should not be angry anymore when I am released from the jaws of death, and when I go back to him, he should be as happy to see me as he always used to be. So Yamaraj was very pleased with his choice of boon. He said, yes, of course, tathastu. I mean, the father who has cursed his son that you go to death, and still, what has the child got in his head? What is the first thing that he comes to his mind when he is given, a bound, like he's given a choice to choose anything on earth? And what does he choose? That also shows what kind of thinking that child had, or the children of those times would be having. So we can kind of infer by listening to the story what kind of thought process used to be in the people of those times and everything. So then he said, all right, go ahead with your second boon. He said, all right, Yamacharya, I would like to know about this sacrifice, the fire sacrifice that all these elderly keep performing. And they also say, Yajjavahi Shreshtatama Karmam, and Swarg Kamo Yajet. So if you desire Swarg, you have to do this Yajja, the fire sacrifice. So could you please teach me all about it? Yamacharya was very pleased to hear the second question, and was happy to grant the wish too, because he said, wow, I wouldn't get such a student ever, and I am more than happy to share all my knowledge. And as also an additional boon, I name this sacrifice after you. It will always be known as Nachiketa sacrifice. So Yamacharya taught him how to do the fire sacrifice, how to build the Yajikund, Havan Kund, and the whole procedure and nitty-gritties of that. Come to the third one. Now, that was a tricky one. Nachiketa said, Yamacharya, I have heard that some people say there is life after death. Some say there isn't. Could you please tell me, who better than you to tell me what happens to one after death? What is it? Is there life, or is it not? Oh, Yamacharya was like, oh my God, as if he just wanted to run away from there. He said, oh my God, what did you ask, Nachiketa? Please ask, please. He tried to, like how you try to mollycoddle and distract children, that, please take this, please take that. So he tried to distract Nachiketa. Nachiketa, please, why don't you ask something else? I grant you the boon of long life, grandchildren and whatnot, a lot of riches, gems, all sorts of knowledge. I'll give you any other kind of knowledge, but please don't ask me for this. For, this isn't a question for a child like you. You should be busy playing and having fun. So take these bounties. I shall give you a plenty. So Nachiketa, being the wise one, he said, Yamacharya, do you think these things, these material worldly pleasures, has ever given contentment to any? Do they ever last? They are ephemeral. they are not eternal. So I don't seek something that is ephemeral, that doesn't long forever, that will last forever. I long for something that is eternal. I mean, look at Alexander the Great, so-called. What did he not have? But when he left, I'm sure he must be singing, I strived so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. So what? It doesn't even matter in the end. What if I get all these riches? Do I get to take them with me? Afterlife? So tell me that. If they're going to stay with me forever, then I shall. Yamacharya was like, you are a smart cookie. You look a good student. So fine, if you are not going to budge from what you have been asking me, I shall tell you the secrets. So listen very carefully, my dear child, my dear student. I'm so happy to have you as my student. So it was like a dream come true for Yamacharya to get such a student who had that fire in him to learn, to seek the truth, the real knowledge. So Yamacharya told him that, dear child, you see in life, at every moment, we always are faced with two choices. There are always two paths. So in Katha-Upanishad, those two paths have the name of Shrey and Prey. So Shrey is the right one and Prey is the pleasing one. So superficially, when you hear these two terms, they look like almost the same, right? Pleasing, But there is, as you go deep, you will see there is a lot of difference between what is right and what is pleasing. Something that is right, the paths, if you take the path, the Shrey path, it might be filled with a lot of obstacles and whatnot, all the troubles on earth you can face at the onset. But at the end of the road, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, they say. So at the end of that road, the joy is inexplicable. Whereas the prey, the pleasing road, you'll get enticed to that road, because it's like, the land of candies and whatnot. It looks like that, the enchanted land with everything, all the pleasures in life you can ever imagine would be there. But at the end would be just pain and misery. So the wise ones would always choose the Shrey and not the prey. Now, you see, we humans are always faced with choices. There's always a choice to make, this or that, starting from the very beginning of the day till the end. I'm sure when you have to get up, there is an alarm ringing or mom calling, get up, it's time to go to school, or get up, it's time for the summer camp. But you want to, just hit the snooze button and say, oh, just a few more minutes, mom, please just let me sleep. The sleep is so pleasurable, it's in the morning. But yet, what is the right thing to do is to get up, get ready before the sun is up. We should be awake, and more so in these times, it couldn't be kind of told in a better way that if you want to enhance your immunity, you should wake up before the sun, leave the bed, take some sun bath, the early morning sun rays, excuse me, if they touch your body, they will kind of enhance your immunity, your vitamin D that, people keep talking about. So that sunshine vitamin, you wouldn't get anywhere else but through the sunlight, and especially the morning sun. But we know that is right. But there is something so pleasing, so enticing, and it's just hard to break that habit. It's so hard to get out of that. So these are the choices that we have to make all the time, something between what is right and what is easy. And that is what is also called as discipline, self-discipline, when you choose to do right over what is easy. And also, I always quote this, our very famous Harry Potter, who had a guru. What was his name? Anybody? Harry Potter's guru?
Dumbledore.
Yes. So I'm sure you are all great fans here. You can also tell me the quote by Dumbledore about choices he told Harry Potter. Anybody?
I think it was that he said that there's always a choice. It's just that the right choice may be harder to find.
Yeah, no, it wasn't about, it was kind of that there's always a choice to make between what is right and what is easy. And also that he said that it is our choices, Harry, that show that what we truly are, far more than our abilities, you see. So what choices we make, the choices make us. And there's a very famous TED talk also on the choices conundrum by a great person called Sheena Iyengar. If you get time, do have a look at it, how choices can also cripple us. So choice, if we have to make. Now, I would try to connect the dots. Now, who could make good choice? So Sheena Iyengar says that we are faced with so many choices, and what we end up with always is a wrong choice. We make wrong choices. So what do we need to make choices? We need a good intellect, an intellect guided by the divine. So that is why I don't know, I feel that Gayatri mantra, the most revered mantra of all, and I don't think any Indian or say any Hindu wouldn't know this mantra. It is up on that pedestal because that is the only mantra that can guide our intellect. Because what is it that human want? We are always faced with choices and we want to make the right choice. So to have that discriminative intellect, we need to tune into that great divine source of inspiration of everything, and ask him for his grace so that we could discriminate between what is good and what is easy. Now let us also, so after this conversation of Shrey and Pray, then Yamacharya also give him an allegory of the very famous, now you would see how Bhagavad Gita or Sri Krishna gave the same analogy to Arjun in the battlefield. So where did that come from? So Krishna might have read Katha-Upanishad, obviously, when he was with his Guru Sandipani in the Gurukul. So this Katha-Upanishad, then Yamacharya gives him the full gyan of Atma and what is Atma and how it is not the body. And the allegory of the chariot, the very famous chariot analogy of how the Atma is the on the chariot, he is the rider, and the charioteer, the one who is driving, the driver, is the, can anybody tell me any guesses? We all have read Gita. We all know this very famous analogy of the chariot. So Atma, Buddhi, Man, and Indriya. That's how it goes. So Atma is the person sitting behind. The driver's seat is that of the Buddhi. And then the reins controlled by the driver, the charioteer, are symbolic of the mind, and the horses are our sense organs. So Yamacharya says the person, if the Atma has to go to the right path, has to stay on track, you need to ensure that the Buddhi, your Sarthi, is absolutely, Sattvic Buddhi, taking you on the right track, holding the reins of the mind, which in turn are controlling the sense organs, drawing them and pulling them if they are going haywire. So hold on to the wild horses. Don't let your indriyas go astray, because if they go astray, would the Atma be ever to reach the goal, the final goal, that is the moksha, the emancipation of the soul? So he said that body is not soul, the two are different. We also have heard in Gita that how they say, we just shed the body like our old clothes. So though he did not tell that analogy, but only the chariot one, to explain that how we need to have the right sarthi, controlling the reins all the time. And horses always had blinkers, so they wouldn't go astray. The sense organs always look for pleasure. They're always seeking pleasure. But Nachiketa knew that, if probably when he was offered all those bounties he knew that the sense organs, they lose their vigor and vitality if they go into indulgence of pleasure. So that was the analogy given to Nachiketa to make him understand the concept of Atma, Buddhi, Manas, and Indriya. So all in unison, taken care, one unit, how it is linked to the other. And Buddhi also, so nobody can say it's, the driver took the wrong route, so what can I do? I'm just sitting back and relax. So again, it is also Atma. It is under the guidance of Atma that the driver, so if you have to guide the driver, it is your driver. So you need to tell him where you need to go, the destination. He cannot just choose for himself to take you somewhere. The onus definitely will come back onto the Atma. That is you, not the body, the Atma. So all this was explained to Nachiketa in great details by Yamacharya, and he was enlightened. And then he left for back home, thanking his guru for teaching him, giving him the real secrets. And he left back, went home, and his father was, as promised, was elated to see him, hugged him, and he saw that his son had a, kind of a sheen. He was shining like the sun. He said, "You look like a self-realized person." And Nachiketa took on from there. Yes, it is a fictional story. It is all made up. As I said, being a storyteller, that's what stories do. They do have a lot of fictional element, but they do convey the real, take the pearls, what they're trying to convey through the stories, which is not easy to comprehend otherwise. So another main saying or message of this Katha-Upanishad is Uttishta Jagrata, arise and awake. It's like, you're walking on razor's edge. It isn't easy. It is a very arduous task. It is like a razor's edge. Every time you have to choose between what is right and what is easy. So it is for the youth, for all of you. You are the front runners. You're going to be the front runners of our future. So you take hold and you arise and awake. And when you're faced with such choices in your life, use that discriminative intellect to always choose the right over easy. Yeah. So that was what brings me to the end of the story. But also, if I can quickly, this is like one of my favorite poet, Shel Silverstein. I don't know how many of you read him. He has also written a parable, a modern parable, The Giving Tree. It kinds of sounds similar message theme as what Nachiketa was saying about how we can never be satisfied. A human can never be satisfied with the worldly pleasure. So that's the theme of that parable by Shel Silverstein. But I'll quickly read out this poem, the voice, and end the session here. And then it will be open for question answers if you have any, or if I'm able to answer any. The voice. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside. I feel it has a lot of depth where the poet is trying to say, he's trying to hint what that voice inside, as we all know, that voice is that of the Paramatma. And we sometimes, in the humdrum of life, we turn a deaf ear when that voice is always guiding us. Choose the right, not the easy. Choose the right, not the easy. We either turn deaf ear to it, or if we are guided by him, then we do choose to listen to that voice. So nobody else can do that for us. Only we can listen to that voice who's so close to us, so close. There is also a saying in Ishopanishad, they say, tad dure tad antike, like he's so far yet so close, like, the kajal of you can't see the kajal of the eye, that close, in that proximity. He's always talking to you, always guiding you. So listen to that voice and choose the right. Thank you so much. And as I said, I am a work in progress, so please forgive me if I have made any follies here, and do just take away the good things if you think there were any in the session. And I'm definitely not an omniscient. I really don't know much, but I would still try to answer any questions if there are. Yeah, thank you.
Oh my God, what a brilliant and innocent way of storytelling. I was enjoying like a little kid myself. Thank you very much, Saviji. It was so wonderful. I am touched the way you were talking to the children. Hello, youths, hello, kids. And there were seniors also, and there were and if a few of our speakers was also there, whom you will be listening in the next few sessions. So everyone, there is a comment, a compliment actually. So, okay, so if any one of you have to say something, like she's okay, thank you.
I'll just share this. I kind of refer to this. So yes, it is a fictitious it is fiction, what I have heard from my gurus, and I always had this doubt that is it, I also am curious to know whether it is fiction or is it true. Was there a real thing like Nachiketa happening, and was there a Vajrashravas? So what answers I got was that this is purely fictional, but it is an allegory. That's how Upanishads have been written, to make people of those times, from Vedic time to Upanishadic time, there had been a devolution of knowledge. So to make them understand these big, heavy concepts, they were made into stories. Of course, by the time we come in, our storytellers, we also put in a lot of masala and how to make things interesting. So sorry for that if it hurt anybody's sentiments or anything, but it was just for kids to enjoy as well as learn. So yeah, that was it.
So you can go through the chat, Saviji.
Sure. Yeah, I've heard in Akshardham it has been. So I've yet to. I'll definitely next time when I visit Gujarat, I will make it a point to. It is one of my favorite stories. I love it because of the message it conveys to the youth, especially. It talks especially to the youth.
It was really mesmerizing, Pia says.
Thank you so much. So yeah, I really don't know about the fiction, because yeah, I had another book from Arshad Granth from Arya Samaj, which I referred. So that there the author says that they take it as a Rupa Kalankar. So they do not align with the thought that it is a real happening. They said it's a Rupa Kalankar. That means that it is allegory, not a true happening. It is not a historical event that happened. So that's why. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anything? I'm
You can unmute yourself.
children. I love to talk to children. So if they have any questions or anything to share, why questions? Maybe I can learn from you all. Who said I'm here? I said in the beginning itself, disclaimer, I'm a learner. So
Pia says, I really like this. Okay, yeah, thank you.
thank you, Pia.
All like this. Okay, if you have to add to it, please unmute yourself, or you want to share anything from your side, any story, any experience, any impression on your mind, please do say.
I really like Hindu stories, and like it literally just depends on the way it's told.
Right.
If you don't like tell it with that with that, I don't know how to explain it, but if you don't tell it with that element of like a story, then it's not that interesting. But the way that you said it, I really liked it. It was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you for saying thank you. But yeah, I didn't want to make it boring, because I understand how children, because I have kids of your age, so I understand your taste. So I had to bring to that level, though I couldn't still not bring it to that much. Yet I tried my best. No, I do get heebie-jeebies with the youths. You people are just, way beyond us. So you are like 5G, we are still 1G. I wanted, yeah, this was the story that I was talking about. If you, I don't know, many of you might have read, or if you want to, you can definitely lay your hand on this. It's a very simple, yet it talks to you and makes you realize the hard-hitting truth of human life, human tendencies, what we humans are like. But I'm sure these are all influenced by our Hindu thoughts, the Vedic thoughts. I don't see any. I chose these few things because I felt philosophically they align to what our Vedic thought is. And as Vedas, they say you should always have open mind and accept. Be ready to. There is a mantra Bhadram Karne Bhishanaya, not Bhadram Karne. Like you should be ready to, learn from all.
Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yanti
Right.
Vishwatah.
Anu Bhadra, right. So, gain
Noble
as
thoughts come from all over.
yes, yes. So let us not be that orthodox. Nachiketa only teaches us that question that is not right. Have faith, but faith in truth, nothing but truth. Yeah.
The logical mind and factual things are always actually based off our heritage.
Right. That rationality, we are proud of that heritage.
He challenges Yama himself directly. See, so children, don't be scared to ask questions, to challenge anyone.
Yes.
Especially the dogma all around you.
Absolutely. I mean, rationality, logic always wins. But yeah, that we say in the end, that also we have to leave to understand beyond. There is beyond logic and rationale too. If we have to.
Upasana.
Yes.
Okay, I think we should wrap up the session now.
Yeah. So thank you once again. Thank you once again, Kavita ji, and all the.
Savi ji, it was so nice, and we will keep in touch, and we would love to invite you for our future session whenever the opportunity arises. So we would love to welcome you. Thank you all. And our next session, let me read it loud for you. Our next session is Hindu spiritual ecosystem. What is that what that ecosystem means is festivals, tirthas, sacred geography, maths, ashramas, pithas, jyotirlingas, dhams, etc., etc. So our distinguished speaker will be Sri Anilarya, and he was our speaker on the day 1 probably, or day 2, if I remember. So he will be here again. So please be on time and with your notebooks if you are taking notes, and be ready to ask questions. Okay. And you are welcome to invite as many as friends you want to. Thank you so much. Thank you, Saviji.
Thank you.
See you all in 37 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all for being such a great audience. It was a pleasure telling.